preparation coming into the game was right. I really did. I thought we had a good week of practice. I think the kids were locked in for the most part. Scout teams did a good job, and that's hard when you're as young as we are and you got so many scout teams. I think the thing I was most disappointed with, it was just our composure, and what I had hoped wouldn't have happened. A lot of young guys playing, and they did. I think some of them got caught up in the moment a little bit of its first college football game. Chris just told me he thinks there was 11 true freshmen that took the field tonight. I told you guys in the third series we had 9 freshmen playing on the offensive side of the ball at one time, and that kind of reflected it. So, we got to do a better job as coaches of making sure we're preparing them for that moment, and then they got to do a good job of not getting caught up in the moment. So that's what I was disappointed with. But, we'll go back to work tomorrow, and one of the advantages when we scheduled this game on a Thursday, it gives us a little extra time going into week 2 with Gardner-Webb.
End of the first quarter is only 3-0.
Yep.
Good signs both offense and defensively. Then what happened?
Well, I think, it wasn't a secret. I think we definitely are a more experienced group on defense. I think there was more composure on the defensive side of the ball. And then after a while, when you're going 3 and out so often on offense, it is what it is. But I've challenged the defense, do they want to be just the defense? Like we talked a lot about them last year at the end of games, and you would say, the defense hung in there for a while, and then I don't want to hear the end then. Do you want to be a dominant style defense? You got to do it for 60 minutes. And I think we kind of maybe lost our discipline, lost our focus. I think our tackles missed went up as the game went up. Whether that, but is that a sign of fatigue or is that a sign of lack of focus? You know what I mean? And your score is what it is, and you got to keep playing the same way for 60 minutes. And until we do that on defense, it's going to be, similar to this. And it's a good team, and Dave did a great job of preparing their guys. We just got to go back to work.
What'd you learn about your quarterbacks?
I don't know if we learned a whole lot,
right.
And that's the reality of it. So I don't know if we're when we talk to them, we tell them basically anything that happens on the offense is on them, and it might not be. It might be the left guard gets beat by a 3 technique, but at the end of the day, what happens on the offensive side of the day, at the end of the day, is coming back to the quarterbacks. And it was pretty evident, in essence, neither guy was able to get a rhythm or a drive going. We had a couple in the second half that were okay. But really in the first half, you're just going back and forth. The thing I will say, though, I was pleased with what Connor did, coming in that 4th series. He had good composure about him. He had a calmness about him, and I think he did okay, And then when Daniel was on the sideline and he went back in the game, I think it was maybe 8 minutes.
6:48 left.
Okay, you guys, I was looking probably at the defensive side when I said, hey, we're going to go with Daniel, next series. Daniel kind of went about it the same way, and unfortunately we hit I don't know if it was about a 20, 25-yard pass. We get a holding penalty on C.J. Patuga.
Yeah,
so
that's how it went tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Where we're at, you go from a team that, probably least penalized, I think, in the CAA last year, one of the tops. Tonight certainly not that. So we got a lot of things to clean up, but we'll be okay.
Any particular reason? Why'd you decide to start Daniel? What was it?
We felt in the preparation that Daniel had a little better control of it all. I don't know if either one physically stood out way above the other. I think that was at the end of the day the measuring stick. But what Connor did tonight showed us a little bit that he could control, and there were 2 situations where he might have been able to ID things a little differently that put him in a tough spot. But at the end of the day, that's what it was with Daniel. We felt like he had a little better control over the system.
Grasp of it.
Yeah, which is a credit to him.
Connor at all? Or having him come in at all today? Beforehand, coming to the game?
Were you planning on playing Connor at some point during the game tonight?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we knew we were going to play both guys. Yeah, we definitely knew we were going to play both guys. And I think I kind of intimated that throughout the week that, it won't be a shock to see both. So we kind of knew going in we would play both.
So then do you feel as if it may have hurt their rhythm, per se, for a guy wanting to get into a rhythm offensively to take one out, right, after
no
a couple
question.
Series?
And that's the good and bad of it. You're trying to evaluate both these guys, and it is hard. But, and that's kind of why we did what we did. We went in saying, let's get Daniel 3 series. That was kind of our plan coming in. And that's what he got the first. So 3 series, that's generally a quarter of football. But when you go 3 and out on 3 series, not so much. And then we kind of flipped it in the second half. You know, we had Connor, and that wasn't by design, but the way the first half went, we said, listen, let's kind of give Connor that same opportunity. I think he ended up getting 4 series, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I don't.
It went 3, 2, 1, 1 into the
second half.
Yeah,
then the second half, he came out and
Connor
he probably
at
got
least the first
3,
Yeah.
maybe 4. So to try to get what you're saying, get into a rhythm.
What? At some point, you want to have 1, right?
I think so.
I mean, no.
But
well,
until it separates,
maybe
you
you
know,
don't.
yeah.
Okay.
Until it separates itself, like I said, I am not, and I've said this going back to the summer, I am not in a rush to make that decision. If it's still, you know, once one separates from the other, we will make a decision.
Right.
But until that happens, we'll manage it the best we can.